Good evening and welcome to the third season edition of the Islandstead Football Show. I'm your host, Earl Basting. Joining me is co-host, Coach Keita Robinson, and we are awaiting the arrival of Garrett Punchy Dill. But Coach Keita, season finally got underway after some hiccups last night at the BAA field where it was lightning in the area for the safety of not just the players but also the fans. It was decided to postpone the match. But it did kick off this afternoon. Bright, hot, cricket weather day. I know the first game, both teams suffered because of the heat, but ended in a 1-1 draw. And then the match that just finished about 25 minutes ago, PHC defeated Crossroads 6-0. That was Group B action for both of those results today. Obviously, tomorrow at Devonshire Recreation Club, it is Robin Hood and Hamilton Parish. And then the nightcap is St. George's Colts and North Village Rams. So teams are getting their first run out in front of a bunch of people. I know, some teams have practice matches under their belt, but when it becomes real, it's a little different. Looking at let's talk about the coaches first, and looking at the moves that have been made, the returns and the like. What intrigues you the most about the coaches' moves for this season?
Yeah, well, first game of the day, Joe Ma against his whole team, and up against great Scott Morton. So again, Joe Ma would have been looking to kind of make a statement, and as well as Morty, getting his first match under his belt. If I look at the moves as far as coaches, I mean, the one big surprise, I guess, would be Antoine Russell coaching at Paget Lions. If I'm being honest, as I went through the list of transfers and knew the coaching staff. But for me, it's not many changes within the league as far as coaches. So to be intrigued, really, I'm not yet. It's early. It's early days. I really, really, really wish that game happened last night. I knew guys, we were talking about it in the coaches chat, and it was like lightning. Like I hope that it clears up soon. But in my head, my first message I sent was, "Well, this ain't going anywhere anytime soon." So I didn't even realize. And you would have seen a message from me. I didn't even realize that it didn't happen. So I'm excited to see because, Danny Town will have a target on their back. But they've been doing some work, as I see in the off season. They picked up some pretty quality players, but they had a quality team, right? So they had a good nucleus of players, and it's now, just kind of plugging some holes, that they felt they may have had, or players going off to school. And just trying to make sure that they keep their boat afloat. But it's very interesting as I looked at that list of players that have moved and where they have moved. And people will look at, say, the Somerset Trojans and be like, "Gee, Somerset lost 24 players." But again, that is not to negate any players that they lost. But I'm sure some were of a great quality, and others probably moved for more game time because they realized that they had quality there. Mm-hmm. PAC being another one, but I tend to know a little bit about Ryan Hassel, and they lost Enrique Russell, but they picked up a player in Ryan Hassel as well, who is one of their products. He's just been off the circuit for a while. He's overseas, school and they're working a bit, but now he's back, and one I think we need to watch out for this upcoming season.
He scored today.
Yes, and he scored today. For me, it's just getting the league up and running, and let's see, where I think it's going to be a lot more competitive this year. We saw two teams kind of running away with it last season. You kind of, when we started the season, we knew who we were talking about the most, and that didn't prove us wrong. But I think this season it may be some other teams that's going to be challenging.
We know, and we're going to bring in Punchy. Evening, sir. How are you?
I'm good. Side over Nate, first time. Down to talk to the players. How you doing, Coach?
How you doing?
Yeah. some discussions about some things that you probably all discuss on, but I'll wait to anyway. And my apologies.
We were just talking about the coaches' moves in the off season, obviously, and Coach Keto already brought up the fact that Joe Ma today was up against his former club in Somerset. Now he's moved to Boulevard. That ended in a 1-1 draw. Taking on someone with the quality of Scott Morton, it's going to take a little while for him to kind of stamp his authority on that team and get them to play the way he wants them to play. Just listening to him on the sideline, just reiterating a lot of stuff in the players' heads that, how he wants them to play, how he wants them to be calm in situations where, normally guys panic. He demands that they be calm and don't be afraid to make mistakes. So that was, his message. We know the quality of someone like Ralph Bean Jr. Unfortunately, today it didn't work out for him in his first game as the official coach of Crossroads. But Punchy, what did you see in Crossroads that they can quickly address to not give up as many goals as they gave up today?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question. It's very important. I have a discussion with quite a bit of people. I saw the practice game between North Village and Crossroads up at the national, well, not the national stadium. I forget the But anyway, last Sunday. Now Gumbo, and he got his tactics right against North Village. He pressed high, right, and they won. They won the practice match. I was very impressed with what he done. His decisions. The players played high pressing game. They worked hard. Today, it was quite the opposite. I couldn't understand this. I got to have a conversation with him. He's still in the change room and talk to his players. But Earl and Keita, it's something about this, sir. Crossroads is not they haven't, and I have a discussion with people. The players that I see in Crossroads. All right. I thought Crossroads, Gumbo should have played from back to front right away and used speed against PHC. And then just done like a Burnley. Just play back to front. Press them. Don't give Marco Warren no room. But what I couldn't understand, they were allowing PHC to pick out like at the back. I'm like, well, you didn't do that last week against North Village. Why are you doing it today on a smaller field? So I'm going to question his tactics. I think he got it wrong today. I think he really got it wrong. They got a couple of quality players, right, at Crossroads. But in terms of what I think, what his solution to his problem would be, do what he did in North Village. Make your team work hard, right? Play 3 or 4. Sometimes it's not going to be great looking because of course, he comes from an institutional North Village. He probably got a mindset that maybe we should play like this. But they playing 5 passes and they haven't moved PHC. So my point is, well, it's not ugly football. It's progression football. And I thought that he got his tactics wrong today. That's what I thought.
Sure. Coach Keeler, and I know you know Gumbo really well, by knowing that they coming off a 6-0 loss, what would you as a coach be thinking? He's thinking to make sure that he keeps his players in it because the league is still a month away from starting. We're just in this the eve portion.
Well, as Anjo said, that he had a game against North Village where they had success, and now he's been baptized with a 6-0 thrashing, and I think that he will now go back to the drawing board and look at the pieces that worked against North Village. And I'm sure if he's still in there talking to his players, he's probably speaking about what they did last week and why they didn't do it this week. Now, whether that was his tactics or the players were kind of shell-shocked, or when you play in a practice match and you play in a real match, it's a different mindset, right? It's a practice match. It's how did North Village play? When North Village going all out, you know what I mean? So you can have a sixth sense of success, a sixth sense of achievement, and them taking that mentality into this match. We can't negate the quality of PAC either, right? And so he will then now go back to the drawing board, and he will be knowing him as he is, the humble kind of person. He will think about it. He won't let this get to him. He won't. He understands the assignment. He knows what he inherited. First of all, Forsberg gets a lot of girls that are things him as well. So and he would understand that he's got to be his team from the back. He's going to have to work on the defensive side. He's going to have to work on the conceding of goals because, they picked up Shea Brangman, which we know can score goals in Bermuda, but he will have to fix them leaking those goals. And I think that's what he'll be working on. He'll be working more on his block. He'll be working more on probably playing a little bit more direct. I don't know if they were trying to play out of the back and PAC pressed them high and won the ball. So obviously I wasn't at the match, but I would hope that is the kind of things that he will be looking to work on.
Sure. Now, Punchy, obviously PHC would be disappointed with the way they ended the season last year. Did you think today's game they came out with an edge of trying to prove to themselves, we made mistakes last year, but we want to rectify those this year and make a statement right away?
Yeah, there's a few questions about how PHC is set up. And it's a question about, I just finished talking to Marco Warren about why. There's still a few things that I'm kind of not sure about with PHC. First of all, Marco Warren is a playmaker, but he still plays too far back. There's some things they have to sort out. The good thing about him, the one that transferred, which I think is a great player, I can't call his name, the center half, they left BA.
Jalen Baffa.
Oh, wow. Just exceptional. I think he's gonna be the national. I think he'll be the national captain pretty soon. But I'm saying very good. But the problem with what I see with PHC, good enthusiasm, good organization, quickness, but they were allowed to play it today. I'm still concerned about PHC is that that Marco Warren is not playing in a good. They haven't found another person to do the dirty work. I think Marco does the attacking work and then he does the dirty work. His tackling guys and to do that, I'm like, no, he don't need to be there. So there's still some problems that exist with PHC. So, but of course, I thought that again the score, they will, the young players, they're using a lot of young players now, which is good. They're really trying to play good organized football. My problem, let's leave PHC and go back to Crossroads. I keep saying about people's names. The tall one that left, Robin Hood. I forget his name. Is Pete. Keita?
Shea Brangman.
Yeah, Shea Brangman. Now, Shea Brangman was playing most like a number 9. Like he's come number 10, picking up the ball and trying to distribute. But where will you play Shea Brangman? Why is he playing so deep? And so I thought maybe the system that Gumbo, what Ralph suggested was, why don't you just play 2 touches and go to the top, let Shea Brangman, get the ball in spaces that Shea Brangman could hurt you. Shea Brangman was making passes like a midfield player. No, he don't need to be there to do this type of passes. No. So that's something else Gumbo's got to figure out. Thompson didn't play today. I don't know if he's injured.
Right.
Donovan Thompson, he wasn't playing today. So, but there are questions about Crossroads that I saw today. If you can't allow PHC to just do anything they want, and so I think he got his tactics wrong today. Definitely, I think so.
Sure. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll have more of the That Football Show back.
Welcome to the new bulk store, Lindo's Next Level. Wake up in the morning with enough coffee to keep you running throughout the entire day. Your pet at home deserves the best. Stock up on dog food to keep your puppy happy. Need a quick, tasty lunch at home? Your chicken nuggets will be jumping right out of the freezer. What's a movie night without popcorn? You can never have too much. Lindo's Next Level. Why go anyplace else?
I'm also thankful and grateful because my greatest value of my life is my legacy.
But why I do it? I feel supposed to do it. I was put here to be here, to do what I'm doing right now. Once I see somebody moving, it's the greatest joy for me. There's a little person being born.
I am thankful that people have given me the trust, for me to empower them, from my players to my family to friends. And that's what I'm thankful for. I'm thankful that people have allowed me and trusted me to be in their life.
Welcome back. Before we go any further, Keita, I wanna congratulate the under-17 boys. They played 4 matches in Florida and have won all 4, defeating the Bahamas today 4-0. One more match on Wednesday, and heading to Guatemala for the under-17 next round. I mean, these are qualifiers, and it's on to championship after that.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. A lot of times, people will watch it and be like, yeah, well, we should be beating these countries. And we're the best. We're the best of the, I think someone mentioned it with the women, we're the best of the low group or the best of the dumb, something like that. Where I don't take that stuff on because we're building. We're out there. And, if anyone watch those U17s play, that's a good team. It's a good group of young men that I know the BFA will continue to invest in as we move forward. Some of the mistakes of the past won't happen. I can guarantee that. And so, yes, I sit there and say, yes, we should be beating those teams, and convincingly. That's what we should be doing. But, in the past, we haven't. So work has been done to make sure that now we are beating those teams. And yes, when they left, I was one of those. Oh yeah, we'll win this run. Guatemala is going to be a next step, and there will be expectations as well. But again, building on what these boys have done this week, and not as to say, yeah, we're going Guatemala and we're gonna, it's going to be the same type, because we know that's not the case. It's a championship round now. We beat the teams that we should be beating, and we have to be doing that consistently. And when we get to that level, sort of like the women, like Jamaica, when Jamaica got the group in for us women, yes, we should be beating those teams, and they beat us, right? And we're all gonna get there. We're gonna get there as well, but we have to take our steps to get there. And so we reach our objectives one at a time, right? There are plans in place. I think sometimes as Bermudians, we want immediate. We talk about the younger generation being microwave, but some of us as adults are the same way. Immediate. It has to be a process. And if we're not willing to understand and go through the process, because this under-17 team may not beat the Mexico until they're senior men. But so what? Look at what they're doing as under-17s. And now we move with that. So I'm excited about what the future holds with this group. Like so my boss ain't watching, but I was in workshops and had the phone on him and peeking every time, somebody took a deep breath before they spoke. But, at the end of the day, as Bermuda, we got to be supportive, and we're doing well like this. We tend to look for a reason why. Like, we're doing well. Oh, you're only doing well because they can't play. You're doing well. We're doing well. These boys are passing well. They're controlling the ball well. They're shooting well. They're dribbling well. The keepers are making saves when it comes to that. All right? They haven't conceded many goals, if any. I can't remember the scores. I just always see 0. So, at the end of the day, they have to be doing something well. Let's not look at the other factors. Mm-hmm. And that's one thing I want Bermuda to understand.
Yeah, they haven't conceded a goal as of yet. So
That's beautiful. That's another box to check, right? I mean, have we had a team do that? Like, let's look positive. Awesome.
Punchy, what's your thoughts on the under-17s?
Well, it depends who we're playing against, son. It's always got to be the thought. I'm sorry. It's got to be. I mean, I'm not contradicting my niece's statement. What you mean? But listen, we think that of course we're supposed to come out of it. How do we come out of it comfortably? Do we look good? Do we look sharp? It looks like we're done pretty good in terms of results that we've achieved. I don't think we're scored against us thus far.
No,
it hasn't. No. But who are we playing against? Right. So, yeah. Okay. Now, the problem, it's not even a problem. It's just a thought process. It's like, let's be honest about this, sir. So now we're going to go to Guatemala. All right. And then we will see what happens next. Because this is going to be a whole new, this is the like A and B league. And so, just like even, it's going to be a tough task for us. But we're growing. We're still a small country. We're rebuilding different national coaches. What's the philosophy in this country? If we're going to get this right from the beginning, we're going to have good organization in terms of the top players at 17 years old, whether in England, wherever they are, we need to get them at our disposal, right? We need to make sure that the coaching is at that level too. Make no doubt about it. You have to know what you're doing at the national level. So it's very good for us with the results, but who we achieving against. So, our next task now is that now we're stopping out. Now here we go into now we've been promoted. Let's see what happened next. So if we're going to it depends on who we're grouped with. If we're going to Panama or wherever we're going, it's Panama, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Honduras. Let's see. At under 17 years old, I always say we got to keep drawing lines to circle. Who are we capable of taking the next step up against at the Giants at this level? Jamaica, Trinidad, Panama. I keep saying that's what we're gonna be looking at. After we beat St. Vincent, Barbados, Cayman Islands, which is supposed to be, we're supposed to beat this in. It's not a given. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not a given. But that's expectation of this country. First of all, I got to give kudos for the people that are what's happening now. We're achieving these results. How are we achieving results? When we look at the program, are we achieving results? Respectability. What is the way we played? Because I wasn't really convinced. I think it was on the 15th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
that
before.
Was poor. That was very poor. That was poor. And we have to be honest about that there. Okay? All right. There was a very poor showing. They didn't show the technical ability of the players look very poor. All right. So there's also got to be a standard that's got to be set at the national level. So when we play against teams that they lost against in Guyana, I think it's right.
Yeah.
We should. Yeah. No rate. So my point is, sir, we're growing. Patience. And the other thing I want to point out to sir, the coverage of the Kappa tournament was very. I really got to say this, here, Earl and Keto. I didn't find like, whoa, what is happening in this country? I think the promotion of football has got to change. There was such good talent up there, man. Man, some of the footballers played up there, man. It was like, whoa. I'm like, where's the promotion of the game? And so if we're going to be on par with other teams like Jamaica, the countries, Jamaica, Costa Rica, Panama, those tournaments are like, it's paramount to the success in terms of where the national program is going. I don't think that's happening in this country still.
Sure.
That's I'm just making that comment. I just want to make it quite clear to you all.
Yeah. Let's jump to what's the expectations for tomorrow night's doubleheader, and we'll start with the Robin Hood Hamilton Parish game. We all know Robin Hood's. They had a young team last year, probably even younger this year because quite a few have moved on to other clubs, and they have quite a few that have departed for school. So now it'll be an even younger team, and Hamilton Parish will get their first taste of the playing at a higher level, playing against a Robin Hood team. So knowing somebody like Sergio with Hamilton Parish, and knowing what the unknown of what Dante Lavrock has for Robin Hood, what would you think the tactics would be for somebody like Sergio, Keita? And I'll let you Punchy do Dante Lavrock. So Keita, for Sergio.
I think Sergio is going to go in to win the match. It's not afraid. His tactics will be to go in and play. I watched a bit of his preseason match with St. David's, and he has some talent there. He has some strong, big, tall players up top. I know the young McKeel Walker was playing in that match, but I do know cricket's still going on, so I don't know how much training has been. He was in that match. He still got Shane Hollis at his disposal that, he has a very high skill level. And I saw some things in Hamilton Parish in that match that I think will surprise some of these teams up in the Premier League. I don't think Sergio is going to go out there. He will give Dante and Robin Hood a bit of respect, but I don't think he's going to go into the match sitting and waiting. He's going to play football. He's going out there to win that match. And his players are going to go out there to win that match. He's going to go there and make a statement that we are here. And we're here to stay. And it's not a league match. It is a cup game. And, to make that statement. And I think that he does have the players to do it. So he has young Queen out of Bridgetown at the back. These are players that they can play. They can play, at this level. And I think that he's going to go for it. He's definitely going to go for it.
Mm. And Punchy, with what we saw of Robin Hood last year, what do you think Dante has to do to bring in some of this young blood that you have to involve in the match and keep them as calm as possible for the season?
Yeah, I haven't seen preseason games with Robin Hood. I haven't seen a lot of them, but I'm sure they're going to continue on what they were doing like last year. Young players, and that's a good thing for the country, too. Also, more young players come to the team. I mean, coach well. I think Robin Hood is still going to be in contention for. They're not going to be dropped. I think they're going to be strong. The discipline of football. They don't play bad football. They're okay. The problem that even with Hamilton Parish, because adding to what Keita says, Hamilton Parish go all night tomorrow night and go for it. What would happen for Hamilton Parish is what they do after the league starts.
Mm-hmm.
When they play on Saturday night against Dendytown, Sunday afternoon could be the next game is North Village on Bernard Park. Then they play against St. George's. The results preseason haven't been that positive. No, they haven't. So Sergio will have to figure out what he's going to do in terms of these games. Saturday night might be up against Somerset. With Morty. So Sergio is going to have to really do his research, really do some work. He does have a good quality of players there, but that means nothing in terms of results. That means nothing in terms of like when you have to come on a Saturday afternoon against PHC or Sunday afternoon again, 3 o'clock at PHC, and traveling. Are the players ready? And Hamilton Parish are going to have to adapt.
Yeah.
Maybe his concept would be maybe counter-attacking, whatever he sets his team up like. But now it's a big step up for him.
Sure.
And that's going to be his challenge this year. Because people are doing the homework, even St. George's. The coaches are doing a lot of homework now, studying. So Sergio would need to understand. I think he does. He's got it. I think he understands what he's up against.
Sure.
Just do his job. I think the league is a priority. Staying afloat in the league. That's going to be his priority. That's what I would think for him. Staying afloat in the league.
Yeah. And then the nightcap tomorrow night at Devon's Records Club. It's St. George's against North Village. I know, Coach Keita, you said that you've seen North Village play. What would they have to do to get a good start to their season tomorrow night?
I'm speaking about North Village.
Yes.
Well,
You want to speak about St. George's?
that one's a little easy. That one's a little closer to him. But um, North Village, they picked up a couple of players in the off season. Their bench was a bit light last year, and they survived. They did what they had to do. But I think they have added a little bit more quality to their team this year. And there's still some hurdles, though. I think there's still some hurdles just from conversation. I haven't seen them. I haven't seen any practice matches. Uncle Punchy will probably be able to talk more about North Village and practice matches. But I know that St. George's have also picked up some players, not necessarily coming from other teams, but signings that, we can't deny the quality that they lost in Osagi and
Freddie.
Troy, right? Freddie, sorry. And that would have been something as they go into this new season that they would realize that they, those holes that they have to plug in. But I think that they have, and I think that tomorrow is going to be a really good game. It's going to be a really good match between the two teams, tactically and technically, because I think that I think that they're even. They're not. North Village, I don't think, is that much ahead of St. George's at the start of the season. But again, we will see how that goes. Games won in the midfield, and I think that's where the strength. North Village lost Dimitri Daniels, but picked up Trey Mean. So we'll just see where it goes. I might even try to make that game tomorrow night. It depends. School starts tomorrow, so I don't know.
Sure. Punchy.
Thanks, Earl. I seen North Village in terms of training sessions. I saw him last week against Crossroads. Trey Mean, I'm glad you mentioned Trey Mean. It's going to be interesting how Kenny's going to fit Trey Mean in. I don't know. It didn't look really right yet in terms of how Kenny wants his system done. I still think that North Village looked a little bit off in terms of this was Crossroads. Crossroads beat them too. It was a practice match, of course, but they didn't look sharp. They look sometimes they still look devoid of ideas in the top third. And, I kind of figure out where's Trey Mean going to make an impact for us. It's a little bit deep. The passes that come in, what Kenny wants of him, it didn't look right. It didn't look right for me last Sunday when I watched them play against Crossroads. So he's got to figure out a very influential player. He's got to know that Trey Mean's not young, right? How quick? What does he find? What does he do with Trey Mean? Which is very, he's a good player. How can you fit him into the system? I mean, he ranges, and you got to think about how Trey Mean plays. Do you play him more forward, or do you sit him back and then distribute? I think it's a combination of both for Trey Mean in terms of you need to get him up in the top third of the field. I don't think he's ever scored a lot of goals. I would transform him into a goal scorer. I say, look, man, you need to score more goals for me, and get him forward more. But I think Norfolk is still. There's something that I don't know. We've been over a trophy for a while now, but there's still questions to be asked. Quicker players. We have a good, few young players coming back, but there's still questions in the top third of the field. What can we do at the top third of the field? Which I think, good. Yeah. Well, I think that's what I saw last Sunday. Yeah.
Sure. Well, we said we was going to keep it brief this evening, a half-hour show, but we'll be back on Sunday at our regular time, 6 o'clock. We'll have plenty to talk about as the Dudley Eve continues. There is some talk that the Charity Cup match that was postponed last night might be played on Wednesday night, but we await the PFA confirming that. So next week we'll have plenty to talk about next Sunday. So I want to thank you both for joining me.
Go for the first show. Yeah, go for the first show. Yeah, I'm done with people. So anyway, Keita, good seeing you. Thanks a lot, Earl. I hope you do progress. Yeah, I'll be there tomorrow night. We gonna do some interviews like we talked about with the coaches before game, pre-game, huh?
Okay. All righty.
Yeah, just do some interviews with them pregame, write some stuff down that they say. I'm
Okay.
definitely gonna ask them.
All
The
right.
first game is there's 2 games, aren't they?
Games. 7 o'clock is Robin Hood and Hamilton Parish, and 9
Right.
o'clock is St. George's and North Village.
Gotcha.
Okay.
All right.
Have a good night.
Talk to the coach. Wish my nephew the best tomorrow. I think he'll be all right. You give him some good stuff. Okay, Earl. Thank you very much.